All right, so this goes through, the overall topics. Technically, it is 213 to 215, but a lot of this stuff brings back prior stuff. Like, obviously, all the log stuff could come back into play. We did some regressions with both log and exponential, so you could see stuff like that where it kind of blends it all together. So I did a bunch of examples just to start us for like 213. And as we go through, keep in mind that some of these don't require a calculator and some of them do. And so your test is divided in that way. Okay, can it be done without a calculator? Then it will be on the non-calculator portion. Do you need a calculator to do it? Then it would be on the calculator portion. So you want to get your calculators out. Yep. The whole test is paper, yeah. 19 questions. Yeah, because like 2 of them have a couple extra parts, but then the rest are evenly like 5 points each. So in like, if you just look here, right, we've got, I tried to come up with an example of kind of each different type. You've got exponential where you can solve it without a calculator, right, because we can change the base. You've got exponential where you cannot, where you can log both sides or ln both sides of the equation. You've got log where it's just on one side of the equation. This could also say ln on one side of the equation like this, and you have to convert it to exponential. You've got some where you've got to condense it down first, then convert to exponential, and then you've got where it could be a log or an ln on either side of the equal sign, and so you're using your one-to-one property. They're all going to be mixed in together, okay? So if I start with A, can I change the base to be the same? Yeah, I can change the right-hand side, right? This could be 5 squared raised to the x minus 3. And then the exponent on the 5 is 1. I can ignore the bases, so it would be 1 equals, distribute the 2 to both, 2x minus 6. Add the 6 and divide by 2. And x equals 7 over 2. Which of these equations are the ones you have to check? The ones that start with a log, right? So I could try to, you can check these if you wanted to. There might be more work than they're worth, but you don't have to check when it starts exponential. You only have to check when it starts log or ln. Questions on that one? Okay, then we go to 2, or B. First thing I would do is subtract the 3. And I get 2 to the x minus 1 equals 5. Can I change those to be the same base? No, so excuse me, this would be on the portion of your test that you had your calculator for, okay? So there's more than one way to do it. What's one? I can log, just log. I could ln both sides, or I could log base 2. You have all those options. I would say like log and ln are both buttons that are already on your calculator, so I tend to lean more towards those than log base 2. If you want to do log base 2, then you got to go to your calculator, do log base 2, or math, log base, change the base. So, and I don't know, ln has less letters than log, so I tend to use ln. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. So I'm going to ln both sides. And then the exponent here kicks forward, so it's x minus 1 times ln of 2 equals ln of 5. Then I'm going to divide by ln of 2. And I'd get x minus 1 equals ln of 5 over ln of 2. And then I'm going to add the 1 at the end. And then I type the whole thing in the calculator. So you got to be really careful because the parentheses are going to open before the 5. You got to either close them after the 5 and then hit divided by, or you could literally hit ln of 5, enter, divided by ln of 2, enter, plus 1. And x is 3.322. Did the question start with a log? No. So I don't have to worry about checking it for an extraneous root. Yep. So when you ln, this is the exponent, right? When we expand, we can push, as soon as there's an ln there, or a log, I can bump that forward because the exponent can come forward.
And if you were to do log base 2?
If you do log base 2, then it's just x minus 1 here equals log base 2 of 5. And then you would add the 1. Yeah, you just got to do the change of base. Questions? How could you check that with your calculator? Put the left side as your y1, put the right side as your y2. See where they cross, right? Okay. All right, C, log base 6 of x minus 3 equals negative 2. So first of all, it starts log, which means I have to check, okay? So God bless you. What are you going to do? Convert to exponential, right? So the 6 is going to pick up the negative 2 equals x minus 3. And I get x minus 3 equals 1 over 36. And then I'd add the 3. So x equals, and you could literally leave it as 3 and 1 over 36. Or you can convert it to a mixed number, but you don't need to. I mean, convert it to improper. And what do we have to do with this one? Check it. So when I plug it back in here, I'm basically checking anything that's next to a log that has a variable. And I need it to remain bigger than 0. So you could check it from the beginning and just say, okay, my answer has to be greater than 3. Or I could plug it back in here and I can say 3 and 1 over 36 minus 3 stays positive. So I get to keep it. So if you'd rather go into it checking every log before you start what the restriction would be, you could do that as well. Still good? Okay, go to D. Now I've got multiple logs on one side, so what are you going to do first? Condense it. It's a plus, which means it becomes multiplication. So I get ln of 15x equals 2. ln is what? Log base e. So this is really log base e. The e picks up the 2. So I get 15x equals e to the second, and then I would divide by 15. So now we're back to a calculator question. E to the second divided by 15. 0.4926, so 493. And then I check it. X would have to be greater than 0, and it is. So I can keep it. Yep. It is split. It's when we combine it. We're combining it. So we're doing the opposite. It was already split. Yeah. Okay, then in this section you also had inequalities. So in example E, you've got log of x plus 3 minus log of 2x minus 1 is greater than log of 3. So first thing I got to do is condense that left side, right? This time there's a minus, which means what? Divide. So it'd be x plus 3 over 2x minus 1 is greater than log of 3. Now what? Good. Got a log on either side of the equal sign, so I could literally ignore it. And I get x plus 3 over 2x minus 1 is greater than 3. Then what? Multiply 2x minus 1 on both sides. So x plus 3 is greater than, distribute, 6x minus 3. Subtract the x. 3 is greater than 5x minus 3. Add the 3. 6 is greater than 5x. Divide by 5. And x is less than 6/5. But what? We have to check them. So because it's an inequality, right? This is telling you it could be less than 6/5, but we also have to check to see if there's a lower bound. It's got to be bigger than. So each of these parentheses with an x has to be greater than 0. The 3 we don't worry about because the 3 is a constant. It's never going to change. So from here I get x has to be greater than negative 3. And from here I get x has to be greater than 1/2. So if it has to be greater than negative 3 and greater than 1/2, which of those would be more restrictive, right? Which one would I keep? Greater than 1/2. So it is greater than 1/2 and also less than 6/5. So it would be two ways. 1/2 is less than x, which is less than 6/5. Or it could be 1/2 6/5. So you could write it either way. Yep.
I got actually greater than 6.5. Did I do something wrong? That is so.
Did you, when you got here, did you multiply by 2x minus 1?
Yeah, I just like subtracted by 3 and then I subtracted the.
You subtracted the 3. So when you're dividing by negative, you gotta flip that sign.
Oh, even if it's 2 negatives, just doesn't flip it?
Yep. So if you do it that way, I'm actually glad that happened because we haven't reviewed that one. So if you had moved the 3 to the other side, so you had negative 3. Tricio, you were good from here, right? This step here? No, even this step here, which said x plus 3 is greater than 6x minus 3. So then if you subtract the 3, x is greater than 6x minus 6, then subtract the 6x, negative 5x is greater than negative 6. Then we divide by negative 5, and our sign flips. Good? Yeah.
Does your sign only?
Okay, now came 214 with log and exponential. So it pulled back in like the word problems on exponential. It plugged, and then it also added the log regression. These are all the formulas you have to know. So we have to know if it's a continuous growth, that's PERT, right? So P, which is initial, times e to the RT, and R is in decimal. So if I told you it was 3.5%, you got to move the decimal back 2 places. If it's a percent increase, then it's A is your initial times 1 plus the percent in decimal form. So again, if it was 5%, it would be 0.05 to whatever the power, the length of time, okay? Percent decrease, 1 minus the decimal form of the percent. Double life, the initial is your A times 2. This is T over H. T over H, H being how long it takes to double, or how long it takes to half if it's the half formula. H equals time it takes to double or to half, which depending on which one you're using. Yeah.
At the top where it says increase all the way to the right, like next to the X, next to the what is that?
Percent. Yeah. So if it's percent, but in decimal form. So all of these percents have to, like R has to be in decimal form. These percents have to be in decimal form. So if it said it had a 2.5% increase, that's 1 plus 0.025. If it said it had a 2.5 decrease, then it's 1 minus 0.025. So if it gives it to you in percent, you have to convert it backwards to get it in decimal form. Charlie.
I was looking, those are percents?
These, and then the log regression, obviously we need to know that there's no such thing as a log, it says ln. So if it says run or log regression, you have a chart, you got to find the log regression using your L1 and your L2, and then answer questions based on it. So these are the word problems that'll give you some sort of a regression. It could ask you what do you expect when it hits this point, and it could also say when does this happen, and this is where we have to pay attention to our rounding, right? If it said the months were January, February, March, April, whatever, and my answer is 3.2, then it happens in March. But if it doesn't give you the name of it and you're naming it first, second, third, fourth, if it's 3.2, what is that? If it doesn't say like January, February, March, if it just says you're doing it for a time period, at what month would you hit something? And your answer is 3.2. How do we name that month? It's the 4th month. That's the one we round up. Does that make sense?
Why?
But log plots. So in the topic of semi-log plot, you've got to be able to read or plot a semi-log plot. You've got to know that if it's linear on a semi-log plot, that means my initial is exponential. So it could ask you either, here's the graph of something, describe the original. And if it's a semi-log plot, that's a line, then I know the original is exponential. If it's on a regular graph and it has that curve, I know the original is obviously exponential. And then find the log of the exponential data and find the linear regression. So this is where we came up with our t-chart. We had the x, we had the y, and it asked you initially to find from here we would have found the exponential. Then you found the log of y, and after that you found the linear. So those are the two things that we did with like the data with a semi-log plot. And if you took your exponential function and you logged the exponential part, it should give you the same answer as when your calculator runs your regression. The good news is you have your calculator to do that work for you. Yeah. You're waiting for